Thank you for being here. I appreciate your time being here with us. Would you please tell us your name?
Michael Gerard.
And what was your name and branch of service?
Army.
In the Army, all right. And what was your rank?
I was Specialist 4.
A specialist. And can you explain that further? What a specialist 4 is?
Well, I was in radio and I was in infantry and I ended up in transportation.
Okay. Did you have a favorite?
Transportation.
Transportation. And what would you do in transportation?
I drove an 18-wheeler with ammo.
Okay.
From Saigon to Cambodia, 7 days a week.
All right. We have some stories to hear about this one. And where did you begin your service?
Fort Bliss.
In Fort Bliss.
Texas.
All right. Are you originally from Stoughton?
I've been here 75 years.
Okay. So how did you enlist, or what made you enlist? Why did you join?
I was drafted.
You were drafted. Okay.
I had no choice.
All right. So explain to some of our younger viewers, what does a draft mean? How did you receive your notice? What procedures did you need to follow from there?
Well, I graduated in '65, and 3 months later, I got a letter from the government. And that letter said, I want you.
Okay. Did you have your choice of branch? No.
When they took us to Milwaukee for a physical, we got done with our physicals. We went to this room, and if your last name was G, which is mine, I went to the Army, and if you were in the other group, you went to Marines.
Okay.
So you had no choice.
You have no choice. So just by last name is where you were told to go. All right. Then how did you end up in the department or your job at that time?
Well, I first went to basic in Fort Jackson, and then I was in radio for 6 months at Fort Bliss, and I didn't like it. So they shipped me to Fort Hood and put me in infantry, which was a little tougher, but I didn't like that either.
Okay.
So then they shipped me to Fort Meade, Maryland, and that's where I stayed for.
And that's where you stayed.
I was in 6 months in Bliss and 6 in Fort Hood, and then 1 year in Fort Meade. Well, I was only in Meade for about a month, and then they shipped us over to Vietnam.
Okay.
They shipped us in a ship for 17 days on the water, no land. And when we got to Nam, we were the last ones off, and they wouldn't let us off the ship for 2 days because of Tet. It was really getting bad. So, and then our trucks were brand new, and so they gave us time to set up our tents. When the trucks arrived, we were on the road from 2 in the morning until midnight every day for 6 months, and then they kind of let us breathe a little bit.
Were you the only driver in the truck at the time, or did you have companions with you?
Everyone got a shotgunner but me. I don't know how it happened, but so I went to the company commander and I says, I don't have a shotgunner. He says, okay. So he gave me quite a few weapons.
Okay, so you became your own shotgunner.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. Can I back you up to boot camp? So you were drafted. You went to Milwaukee. You were sent to the Army.
Yes.
And then from your boot camp, where was that? Your original boot camp?
Fort Jackson.
Fort Jackson, okay. How long were you there?
8 weeks.
For 8 weeks, all right. What was it like the first couple of days that you were there?
Very nervous.
Very nervous. What made you nervous? Was it just the whole environment, unknown?
Everything. Everything.
All right.
I was only 18.
Okay. Were they same age as you when you were there? Were there older ones there?
Well, there was older ones.
They were
Enlisted.
enlisted. All right. And how many would you say were with you at that time?
Oh, about 40.
About 40, okay. Did everybody make it through boot camp, or did some? Yeah. You had no choice?
That's right.
All right, you had no choice.
Yeah.
All right. What is one thing from boot camp that you won't ever forget?
Getting up at 1 o'clock in the morning and having your boots shined and be shaven clean. And if you're not, you go back to the barracks and you get it done and come back.
And as many times as it necessary?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Did you have to ever get sent back?
Nope.
No. And while you were at boot camp, if there's a story that seems to surface over and over again, something stick out in your mind?
KP.
KP. Can you explain what that is, please?
Kitchen patrol. Peeling potatoes.
Are you good at it?
No, I am.
So what was your favorite food then from the mess hall?
Ooh. Chicken.
Chicken. Okay. I haven't had that answer yet. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So after you were done with your boot camp, did you have family support when you were enlisted?
My mom sent me 4 dozen cookies every week.
Did you share them, or did you keep them all to yourself?
They were gone in a half an hour.
What were your favorite kinds to receive?
Chocolate chip.
Chocolate chip. Excellent.
And then she sent me popcorn every week too,
Nice.
with a popper, and I had to get the butter and the grease, but I had a guy go to the mess hall and take care of that. So.
Okay. Were you ever get to see your family during boot camp?
No.
No.
When I went for the physical, passed the physical, then I was in the Army. They shipped me right out to Fort Bliss.
Okay.
And then I was there 6 months, and then I got to come home for Christmas.
Okay.
And then I went back, and then I went to Fort Hood, and then a year or a month in Meade, and then I went to Nam.
All right. And you said I heard you say Saigon. Was that your main area that you were?
I was in 20 miles south of Saigon. It was, jeepers. That was the only blacktop road between when we left our area. And we had to make our own roads. And then when each convoy, we had the 101st Airborne above us in our convoy, a minesweeper in front, in the center, and the rear of the convoy. And we had 100 tractors and trailers.
And this moved every day?
Every day.
And how long a drive was this?
We left at 2 in the morning, and we got back at midnight.
All right. You make it to your destination, and then you turn around and come right back.
Yep, we bring back empty trailers that were brought before.
Mm-hmm.
So we double them up on each trailer.
Okay. Did you ever run into any troubles?
Yes, my last convoy, we got ambushed.
Your last one?
My last one, and I says, this isn't happening. But we got cleared, so.
Okay.
It was us when we coming home, not when we had the ammunition. But we had one bridge blown up by a Vietnamese or a VC, and then the Air Force came in and put a portable bridge, and we went on our journey.
And how long were you stationed in this area?
1 year.
1 year. So 365 days a week. You made 365
Yep.
travels down this road.
The only day I had off was my birthday.
On your birthday. Was that on purpose, or was this by fluke?
It's what they said, so.
And your birthday couldn't get there fast enough.
That's right.
All right. Do you have other memorable experiences that you would share with us about your deployment?
It was a challenge every day, because every day was a different day. And I just prayed for a good day every day, which it was, to my last ride home. And other than that, it's the best thing. Our company was the 321st Transportation. We all came over and we all went home. Nobody got injured, but then there was quite a few that went back and they didn't make it.
Are you still in contact with some of the people?
Yes, when we got over there, we got certain states you could have all the Wisconsin boys could be in one tent, Georgia, whatever. That was kind of nice, and I'm still in contact with several of them.
Okay. How big was the tent then?
Well, it was enough for 16.
16 people in it. Okay. When your service ended, what did you do on the days and weeks getting ready to come home, and then once you got home?
Okay. I had my airplane ticket in my pocket for a week. They gave me my last week free. I could do anything I wanted. So I had a good lieutenant, and he took me down to Saigon and bought me a steak dinner. He was a good guy. Lieutenant Meekles, I'll never forget him.
Nice. You had your plane ticket.
Mm-hmm.
You flew home.
Mm-hmm.
Were people there to greet you?
No, because they didn't know they didn't know I was coming.
They didn't know you were coming.
No. And I flew standby from Fort Meade to Madison, and I got bumped off in Milwaukee.
Oh.
But luckily, I had a sister living in Milwaukee, so she got to see me first.
Did you call her and say, hey, come pick me up?
Yeah. And then, well, she got married when I was over there, and I never met her husband. And I was in the airport. I was the only one in there. I was sleeping. That guy tapped me on the shoulder. He says, are you Michael? I says, yeah, I'm Michael. He says, I'm your brother-in-law. I said, okay. But I knew, when I got in the car, I says, I hope this is the right guy.
Absolutely.
But I knew the house that they were in, so I knew where I was going. So then my mom and dad come down the next day and got me.
Okay. Did you make the phone call to them and say, hey, I'm in Milwaukee? Or how did you let them know that you were home?
I called them.
You called them.
Yeah.
What were some things that you were looking most forward to when you arrived back home?
To get a job.
To get a job.
And luckily I knew a supervisor that was in the Stoughton post office. His name was Dutch Nelson. He says, you get up and take the written test for a mail carrier and clerk. And when I went up there was 3 of us. And I got a good score on it, and then I got 10 points for being in the service. And at that time, 1 retired and 1 quit. So I was in right away.
Right away.
And I spent 35 years there.
Here in Stoughton?
In Stoughton.
Here in Stoughton, all right. Was there something you were most hesitant about coming back?
No, I just wanted to get back.
I just wanted to get back. Was there anything that helped make your transition easier?
Knowing that, well, nobody knew that I was coming, so there was a lot of them that came back and didn't get recognized. And I said, well, nothing I can do. I just want to get working and get back to normal life.
Get back to normal life. Okay. Do you think your military experience influences your thinking about war and general military?
Not really. It kind of left me after the first year. I didn't think about wars.
Okay. And how did your service and experiences start affect your life at all?
No, it didn't. I just wanted to get back and be a normal person.
Be back a normal person, okay. What is the Stoughton veteran community like?
It's great because I'm a life member of the VFW, and I have been with the Legion 5 years, and I'm on honor guard with new funerals for the servicemen. I've been on honor guard 3 years, and they are tremendous. So it's helped me.
Is there something that you're most proud of?
Well, I didn't expect to get drafted, but I didn't even think about going into service.
Okay.
So it was a challenge,
Absolutely.
big challenge.
And would you have any advice for students that would be thinking, considering, interested in about the military?
That would be a hard question. Like me, I wasn't even thinking about the Army. But now they don't have the draft, and if you enlist, if you want to be a serviceman, that's the way to go.
Okay. All right. You shared many stories with us. Is there anything else that you would like to add? Any other stories or information that you feel are important for us to know?
Not really, no. It's being drafted. I think when I got drafted, there was about 70 in Stoughton that got drafted. But then they went all over to a non-war zone. But me, I went to a war zone.
Well, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate
You're
you
welcome.
being here and all your service.
Thank you.